Backyard Crab Primer, we love us some what? Heman. Absolutely. Nikki surprised me with this. We're going to be taking a look at the Masters of the Universe He-Man retro play, and we're going to see how much he stands up to the original He-Man. I'm very excited. And we have a little baby boy. So, let's get into the show. Let's take him out. And quick magic, we have He-Man. And we do have Little Battle Cat. Yes, we do. If you see the bloopers that's before this one, you'll see where we have Chomper, the Beast Man. And he is helping me out today, going through everything. So today we're going to take a look at the Masters of the Universe. We're going to take a look at my He-Man from my childhood, which is, I have been, through the years, I've kind of upgraded and found some. I can show you my original. When I was a kid, I used to have to mow lawns. And to mow lawns, one of the things I would be able to get was the smaller Transformers, like Beachcomber and stuff like that. But I could always come up with $3.50 to get me Masters of the Universe. And today we're going to take a look at Masters of the Universe, and we're going to compare the two. So let's get into the show. When I heard that this was being announced, these guys here were going to be announced, I was actually rather surprised. Do y'all want to go and lay in the sound studio since I had to take up so much space here? Yeah, we're trying to get this. So I had heard about it. I was part of the Mattel collector. I did get some of those figures whenever I was able to. They became a little bit too expensive to keep up with, but I do want you to understand that I do have a lot of those, which I will be bringing out. And each time they come out with a new figure of He-Man, he won't stand up because he's got wobbly legs, which we're going to talk about. And yes, initials down there on the bottom. The other cool thing about this is that you do get this nice artwork on the back. You get all this stuff here, and nicely posable. You do get a nice Masters of a Universe. This takes me back to being a kid. Whenever you had the little comic books that came into these things, this was awesome. Especially a kid that was illiterate. It was nice to be able to have these and learn to read from, along with my Superman comics. And that's why I love comic books so much today, is because I was illiterate and was not able to read. And so stories really helped me out to learn how to read. And this right here is awesome. My good friend JD sat there and was like, I wish they gave us a stand. And I was like, really? I'm digging the comics. Even though the comic book comes this in the first set is all exactly the same. That's fine with me. I love it. I get to look at it, read it, and it's got beautiful artwork. But let's take a look at the He-Man, the original He-Man that came out in 1984. So you have this nice looking head sculpt. All the heads were soft back then, very soft plastic. Very nice details to the chest. One thing about He-Man as a kid, and it doesn't bother me even as a collector, they all had the same body types, pretty much. He-Man, Skeletor, all of them. They were ripped! That's right, ripped! Not only did he throw up the sword, but he was ripped! And then you had this nice little thing in the back that was supposed to stay tabbed. Those of you who had He-Man understand that probably did not stay tabbed on yours. And then you have the nice. Now there are rubber legs, and they have this rubber that goes between this one and this one over here, and that's why I call them the shaky knees. Oh yeah, welcome baby. Yes. Let me do it this way. Oh yeah, look at me. Oh yeah. So, but very nicely done. Let's take a comparison of the two. So right here, automatically what you're going to see is that, yes, they have changed the head sculpt a little bit, and that's understandable, and we'll set him off to the side. Still has a nice chest piece. I think everybody's is a little bit damaged right here that I've seen. Nice all the way, very, very nicely done. Where He-Man in the classics, the arms only went up and down. Up and down. And really cool thing is that you would get a shield. that came with a He-Man that would attach to his hand, just like so. And then you would have his battle axe, if you wanted him to carry the battle axe. And then he would come with his power sword. Now, the power sword didn't always stay in that well. And so that's why I like the new way they've done it. We're going to look at that. So when I was a kid, this is how I used to have him hold his sword or his axe in the back of his hand. And so you have the He-Man and the sword goes in his hand like so. And I would take the battle axe and I would just pop it in where it would go just like this. And this is typically, as a kid, how I stored all my He-Man armor and everything. So when we get the new He-Man, he comes with this awesome shield. Nice little backing, nicely done. And then with that, you also get a battle axe. Not a lot of details are on the battle axe. And yes, I have something sticky on it. So so yeah, there you have the battle axe. I think it's very nicely done. I like the plastic. And then you have, voila, the power sword. And you know, you take a look at the original and this one, and it is amazing how nicely they did. Now this one right here would have a piece that would poke out like this. When we get to Skeletor, I'll be showing that off. Because with the Skeletor piece, it had one that had a line that was in the back of it, and they just would tab together like so. And so that would be the battle sword. And so wouldn't be fully connected together, but that's what you would get. Now they have done something that I do like, which is with the battle sword, they still have that same gimmick, except this time, instead of that little line, they have little pegs. And they just easily, like Legos, tab together, in which I like that. And then they just snap together like so. And there you have his power sword. Very cool, very cool. I love how they just gone back to the original. Now, as you could see with He-Man, with the arms and stuff, there was not a whole lot of movement. You have the hand here to hold the sword. It didn't really hold the two that well. That was always the problem with the He-Man and the power sword. So, you know, I couldn't ever keep them together as a kid. So I just pretty much did the He-Man, stuck the sword in his hand, rolled it around, and let that tab, that little thing there, hold it into place. And so very, very, very nice. So when we got, oh, and also the snake, the Castle Grayskull in the background is the Castle Grayskull from my youth. I still have all the pieces. I will probably show that off later, but let's take a look at the new He-Man himself. Nice head sculpt, very, very nicely done. I do enjoy the fact that he can look up, he can look down, he can look around. It's on a nice ball joint, and it can go all the way around. The other cool thing too is that his arms don't just move up like that. They actually move all the way out now, which is really, really cool. Not only do they move all the way out, you have a nice bend, you have a nice wrist, and so very nicely done. Another elbow bend, something you didn't get with the original. You get a nice knee bend with this He-Man. He even has foot articulation, and you can really get this guy in some good poses. His foot even swivels if you want it to get some poses, so does the knees. And this time he actually has ball joints that are holding his legs together, which is really nice to be able to put him on Battle Cat, which you'll see in the upcoming review of Battle Cat. Now, the interesting thing that they did with this He-Man that was different than the original is the backing. Now, this actually has a little tab, which is really, really cool because you can take the power sword and you can actually stick it in the back of him just like so. And if you're a big He-Man fan, you would love to be able to do where he would be able to reach back, which you can, have him where he's reaching back and getting that sword into his hand, look as if he's pulling it out of the sheath, so that he can hold it up, stand in front of Castle Grayskull and say, "By the power of Grayskull, I have the power. Heman." The other thing too is that you can put the shield on. As you can also see, the difference between the two is that they do actually, the bands around the wrist where the originals were not painted, this one is painted. Nice shield, gives it a very nice look. Very much enjoy it. You can take the battle axe, stick it in the back here if you want to. It does store rather well. Another cool thing that I do that I thought was neat is that I don't always want He-Man carrying his sword, his battle axe. I want him to be able to also carry the not just the shield, but I want him to be able to carry the battle axe, the shield and the axe. And so those things will tab in rather nice and neat to the back of him. It's a little circle around the back here that fits really well around the waist. That tabs in. Instructions don't show you that, but that's something that I found that I actually enjoyed. And so with that, I have He-Man, and with this, I have the He-Man as a kid that you would want, that would be able to stand in front of Castle Grayskull and be able to show off the awesomeness. As always, like my grandfather said, hold on to something from your youth, you'll never grow old. Look to the stars, grab one for yourself, and guys, y'all have a good one. If you see these are only $14.82 at your local Walmart. And Baby Mahala was really kind. She helped us get these, and so just wanted to say, give her a shout out. Plus, Nikki's got a video she's going to come out because they surprised Nikki with the last Devastator Studio Series, which we'll be showing off. But look, he stands really well compared to the old one. Old one has to sit down. He probably needs his walker. But there you have it. I love it. I enjoy it. And I think if you see these, you should definitely pick one up for yourself. And if you liked He-Man as much as I did growing up, He-Man and Transformers. I know sometimes there was G.I. Joe, but man, He-Man was absolute must. And these guys are absolute must. Y'all have a great one.